All right. What's up, my little cat friends? Cat Dad is back, and today we're going to cover the boutique. As you see right here on my OpenSea account, you could see two different cats in this header that have been accessorized. I have a 4-year anniversary helmet, and then on my 2020 cat, I have a COVID mask. So we call them the COVID Kitties. The boutique is something that I haven't seen on any other NFT project, which is something that's quite innovative that has come out of ponderware's little toolbox of those gigabrains that they have. The boutique is a ERC-998 capable component to it. I'm not the most technically literate guy, but I know that the boutiques are pretty cool. We haven't seen that much of a markup when you see boutique items, some maybe 50% at most. I've seen a few people relatively pay 100%, maybe because they like the aesthetic rather than the metadata, which you know from the other videos that I've covered. What gives most of these MoonCats value is in the metadata, whether it's the year or a clone or their ID with extra zeros or some of these other components. But accessories add a completely new component to it. And it seems like in the 2021 collection, where there's about 20,000 MoonCats, that's where some accessories seem to fetch a little bit of a premium. But with the ability to accessorize these MoonCats, you are programming historical value, which is what MoonCats pretty much are, and the first generative NFT project. So now you can accessorize them and change them, which just brings a whole new ballgame, because I don't even think that exists in the real world, in the physical world, where baseball cards are just static. What you see is what you get. There isn't really anything that you do to baseball cards or Pokemon cards. They kind of just sit in a box or in a sleeve. But with MoonCats, you get to change them and customize them. And that's the cool component to it and why I love the project. So I'm just going to cover the history of it, some of the things you could do in the accessory, some of the things you should be aware of. And then at the very end, I will actually be buying an accessory for one of my MoonCats, which I've been wanting to do. So stay tuned. I will go through that whole entire process. So here we go to start. This is when ponderware first announced the boutique. I believe this was, June 1st, 2021. So a little over 2 months into the rediscovery. Like, that's how fast they move. It's only been 6 months, guys, since we started this mission. So we are pleased to unveil the upcoming MoonCats accessories and boutique. MoonCats will soon be able to dress to impress. Learn about how you can get your hands on, blah, 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 the Reddit. So I see 228 likes. They also came out with, so shout out to Moonsoon Okamonis, that's who it is, for coming out with these items right in the beginning. As you can see, they have like a few different helmets, which I think are all actually sold out now at the time of this recording. So we'll go over to the Reddit, which you see they posted 3 months ago, talking about the accessories and the Q&A. I won't go through all of this, but we'll just cover some of the ideas. It's a web interface and a smart contract, which enables customizing the appearance that you've adopted, which I've gone over, launched on July 7th. So they came out with this a month before they actually launched everything to build a bunch of excitement. And if I remember correctly, we actually got that was like the first main push out of that 3-month bear market of MoonCats, where we were sitting around 0.11 ETH. That was the lowest that we got. It was a little painful for a little time. So shout out to ponderware for building utility within the MoonCat space. Cool thing I like right here, 65,000 layers. So you can have literally 65,000 accessories. I mean, I think the most I've seen on one is around 45, which once you start getting up into that space, starts looking a little crazy in my opinion. But hey, maybe for some people, more accessories means more value. You have to pay gas fees when you are removing or accessorizing your cats. So that's where we see a little bit of some of the game theory that's tied into it. Ponderware as a corporation will get profit from accessories specifically designed and owned by them. The cool thing about this is that anybody can contribute to the boutique. It's ponderware does introduce specific ideas from time to time, which we'll go over, but the whole community is the contributor. And what a lot of people don't realize is this actually keeps a lot of the money within the MoonCat ecosystem, because now you have those who are adding or contributing value to the boutique, who's getting rewarded and getting paid out. And then they actually use that money to buy MoonCats, or maybe level up from a 2021 to a 2017 or 2018, or a clone or something like that, which I'll cover a story, because one of my favorite artists in the boutique actually did not own a MoonCat as he began accessorizing, and now owns a few and a 2017. So this was the first MoonCat that I accessorized. Obviously, as you guys know, in the previous videos, I sold this to Pentoshi. But this was Darth Kitty was accessorized. These were all day one boutique items. The reason why I did this is because I wanted to create a picture of rarity. As it first came out, I didn't really understand like what would contribute value, what would add value. But if it's anything just like historical NFTs, the closer you are to 0 or 1, the more rare it becomes. So all of these items were actually from the first day of launch. And I believe some of them you actually can't buy anymore because they are limited. So let's go over. This is the front page. As you see, it covers the top accessories. The early acclimator helmet, there's only, as you see, this random number, 7,832. This was how many cats were acclimated on July 7th when the boutique launched. So those cats that were acclimated are the only ones that have the ability to accessorize your cat. As you see on here also, you could see the different artists where you could click on the name to see everything that they have come out with. As you see, some of these, they have ratings. Obviously, the little more adult content like alcohol or a joint or something like that becomes a little bit more rated, as MoonCats kind of cater towards the family friendly and the cuteness. The prices vary. I think I've seen all the way up to 1 ETH before for some accessories, which those are generally 1-to-1. These you see 1,000, 250, 1,000. This was the birthday acclimator, which you could only claim on their 4-year anniversary, which was a little while ago. So on to the next page. I just want to start here at the bottom to show you how many accessories have been created since the July 7th launch. So now is this today's September 11th. That's what I'm bad at math. 3 months, you have over 900 accessories. So, and look at how crazy some of these are. You have a DeLorean, limited 11. And all of these accessories, they range from actually something that's on the cat itself, like a sword and shield, or a background like you see with this Tabasco, or they're operating a moon miner. As you see here, it's 0.03 limited to 50. So you could really range, and you can accessorize as many of these as you want. I mentioned 65,000. So if you want this cat being held up by the MoonCat ape, but then you want to put a McDonald's hat on him and you want to put laser eyes and all these other things, you could do that as well. So look at the glitch, the matrix. Some of these are pretty cool. I enjoy these. Some of these are a little more on the stranger side. Ether Rock, giving a nod to the $2 million floor that it exists on right now. So I'll let you guys go and browse through it, but some of these are really popular and some aren't. But with a 25,440 supply of MoonCats, you could see that this will eventually blow up. I wanted to cover some of my favorite artists. There's 2 of them. And this isn't knocking anybody else. There are some other fantastic contributors to the boutique, but I just like what these people are doing. So Tusk. This was actually I believe it was him. It might've been the next one, but one of these 2 that I'm about to cover actually did not own any MoonCats before adding to the boutique. And now they own quite a few. But what Tusk does is he calls it the litter box, or the pixelated litter box. Like some of this pixel art is beautiful. Like this ape, I don't know how long it takes to construct some of these, but like this dinosaur, the Jurassic Park, some of these backgrounds, the cowboy hat, like the Jeep, like some of these you put in some work in, man. So give a nod to you. And then one of my other favorite ones is Digivatar, which he's been doing a bunch of cool little like 80s, 70s retro pack throwbacks. And I believe he's like having a drop at some time here and near in the future. So some of the things I like retro wear personally, and he just added that DeLorean that you saw, which is really cool. So props off to both of you for putting in work into this little marketplace that exists today. Something else I wanted to cover, which is the MoonCat.community website. So everything that you just saw is from a consumer standpoint. You could go and be a designer. And now I've never designed anything personally, but I just wanted to take you guys through it just to show you kind of what it looks like. So the MoonCat accessory designer, again, anybody can join this however you want. There's the tools that you can help to deploy it. There's an FAQ that can cover everything as well. So I assume you probably just hit new project, pick which one you want to design, and then you go through these poses and hues. And I believe when you create pixel art, you have to design it specifically for all 4 different poses. So whether there's standing, sleeping, pouncing, or stalking, as you see, the hands and the feet are in different positions. So whatever you're building, you need to be very aware of that. I also, which I will cover here in a second, that the hues and some of the other things that are involved within the background of the MoonCats, like, don't have to be the specific red color to match. As we know, there's like 4 billion potential MoonCat options, and the color spectrum is pretty wide. So if anybody else wants to comment below with any other ideas or information about being a designer, then please comment below. Another cool component is the photo booth, which was also put out right after the boutique had launched. I believe it came out like a few weeks after. If this ever loads, I think I actually have it right here. Yeah, so you can pick pretty much any cat that you want. This one's Mr. Moo. It's already accessorized. So you come down here, and this, I think, was a contribution to the whole profile pic craze, where MoonCats aren't necessarily the PFPs that you see happening in 2021 and like CryptoPunks and Bored Apes and stuff. So they're just helping add some different ideas to it. As you could see, you can add the pixelated starry background, which is what ponderware has used within pretty much everything, and I use within all the thumbnails, which you saw right when you clicked onto this video. So as you see, it shows the accessories that you have, and I believe you could change it. So there's the square, there's the circle for Twitter. You could add borders. So if you want to change the color to match something else, like you want a purple or anything like that, you could preview it with a white background, a black, none. Choose black. You could change the background color. So if you don't want a black starry background, but you want a red smoky background, then you could go with this. So you can go and have fun. You could change the dimensions. Oh, see here, have it specific to YouTube if we want it bigger. I didn't even realize that this exists. Props to you guys, man. Discord, as we know, Discord's a little bit smaller. As you see, the dimensions change. Twitter and Reddit. Should probably add a Telegram one in there. I think that's the only one that's probably missing, to be honest. So the photo booth, super cool. Something that also launched pretty recently, 2 days ago from this recording, was Midnight Lightning. One of the devs who, she didn't know, he was actually a fan of MoonCats in 2017 and did a write-up, and he was a community member. And then when the rediscovery happened, ponderware brought him on, and this guy has very concise and articulate descriptions for some of the more technically complex ideas that surround MoonCats. Like I said, I'm not a developer, so I don't want to go through everything. I will have the links below so you could click on it. But the main idea that I got from this is that all of the data for the accessories is stored on chain. As we know, this is a big narrative, because if the data is on chain, then you're not prone to centralized shutdown if it's stored on AWS or IFPS or whichever the storage system uses. So having it on chain is very important. And I I've seen with CryptoPunks and with MoonCats, it actually gets a premium because, as we know, we're all here for decentralization, or at least most of us. And then he goes in, he talks about the difference between this and autoglyphs and where the difference is, and the pixel images, and talks about, some more complex ideas surrounding it. But there was also something that he talked about how they limited the accessories and some of the ideas that the developers and ponderware talked about when creating the boutique. As here, like if you wanted to create an accessory that was specifically for Genesis cats, or maybe orange tabbies, which is like what a Garfield is, or if you wanted to create specific Alienware for an alien cat, which is like the blue, sky blue pure or something like that. Should probably know that. But if you guys want to do all yourself a favor, get all of these tabs open. This is something I do, giving you a little bit of alpha. These are all the tools that I use within the MoonCat universe, which I cover with you guys. So do yourself, save yourself a lot of time. But back to this. So some of the ideas also talking about like decentralization, and how on here ponderware doesn't want to be the say all be alls, but obviously you have to have some sort of protection of who's going to add to the boutique store, whether you're adding some very not NSF, not safe for work, NSFW kind of ideas. Some people will do, as we know, the internet loves to troll everything. So some of the ideas they talk about in the listing, they talked about how they make an eligible list, like we said, for the early acclimator helmet in the very beginning. This is how they run the numbers, and they go on to talk more about the queries and onwards and upwards. So if you guys, there's Tusk. I'll give him a little upvote, as he is a big contributor to the boutique, as I mentioned. So, what else do I want to talk about? I'm going to go on now, and I'm going to buy this poop emoji, the smelly cat. This cat is you can see the number right here, 1015, and it was actually named. And so this cat was named as Mr. Pooper back in 2017. And so now somebody came out with the smelly cat, number 123. Personally, I think this will add some value. I think this is just speculation. I think named cats, early rescue named cats, so cats that were named in 2017, 18, 19, and 20, that have an accessory that fits the name that they were named, is going to add a massive premium. Because what some people are doing now in 2021, in the 2021 cats, is they're buying accessories and then they're unwrapping it, they're unwrapping it, naming it something, and then buying the accessories to fit that idea. But here it's different, where the cat's already been named. It was named 4 years ago. So now you got to find a boutique item that fits the narrative. So I guess if you're a designer, you can just hit up people with named cats and tell them, hey, you'll build a specific accessory for them that fits that agenda. Again, just speculation, but that's just something that I can see getting a premium, or people just having select designers for their select named cats, like Mr. Moo, and we're going to add a cow in the background or something like that. Who really knows? Also, just another speculation before we get out of here, and I show you how to buy how to use the accessory store. Some of these limited items, as we were talking about on here, is what you need to take into account in terms of rarity. It's another game theory dynamic attached to it. Some of these are limited 10, some are 1 of 1, but you also want to look and see who the designers are. I see a time in the near future, maybe next bull cycle, whenever that is, unless NFTs are really just up only, as what's been happening, where you're going to see large companies like, I don't know, Coca-Cola coming in and doing a Coca-Cola can, or somebody that is considered the Louis Vuitton of internet designers coming in and building specific design wear. So I could easily see this boutique ballooning up to 5,000 over the next few years, or maybe even by the end of the year, as MoonCats continue to soar and are recognized as a blue chip asset within the NFT space. as we all know that they are, and more things are introduced. Ponderware also did mention at one point that in the sports ball game, the accessories in the boutique store will have an effect on the cat's gameplay within this sports ball universe. So I don't know if that's still true. I remember somebody mentioning that in the Discord. So also something to consider as we continue to add utility, and with the leaderboard within Cuddle, which will be my next video. As you see cats that are accessorized in a leaderboard, it really reminds me of like the leaderboard from Bitfinex and these other trading exchanges where you have somebody's ENS name show up and you know if they're winning or losing. The same idea with the boutique items with the leaderboard within Cuddle, that the ones that are accessorized great and have their own image are the ones that are going to be remembered. And also, I messaged Midnight Lightning before this video and asked him if there was anything that he'd like to mention about the boutique store, like me to mention. So I'm just going to read his words very quickly. He said, one thing I did not go into in the Reddit post is that one is the idea of how the color palette of an accessory recoded to be dynamic, giving accessory designers the ability to pick a color that doesn't have its own definition, but is instead the color of the MoonCat it's applied to. Means you can't view those sort of accessories without a MoonCat to show them on. So having just a PNG of the accessory wouldn't really capture what it truly is, and allows having accessories with more than one palette. Again, GigaBrains. Thank you guys for watching this video. If there's anything I missed within the boutique store, any ideas, any contributions, if you guys have any, I don't know, if you have any speculation, I love to hear speculation. So comment all of that below. Follow me on Twitter at Jake Gallen, JakeGallen_. That's it with Cat Dad. This is now going to be followed by a brief tutorial on how to accessorize your cat. See you guys next time.